Hello, everybody. Hey, Snowstorm. I was going to give you a call today, but then it kind of got wrapped up. But I would love for you to talk to you tomorrow if that works for you. Yes, the minutes before a live start are always the longest. I know. Because you sit, you wait. And I don't have any exciting live music or anything like that. I don't even know how to add those things to my channel. But I'm so glad you came. Hello, Gabi. How are you? Good to see you. And just keep it real. Hey, my friend. All you guys, I have to say, you all are my friends who I have met and I love. Hey, Mirandy, are you still in the pool with your little Mr. Pool Noodle? Oh my gosh, and Super Snoops. Hey. Oh, that's nice. You appreciate me allowing your mind to be off things today. Absolutely. And it's been kind of hard to think of ideas for my channel, and over the last few days, I've been looking at so much. Hello. What did you say? Yep, I enjoyed Tall so much. Do you mean you all so much? Hey, Barbarian's wife, it's so good to see you. Good to see everybody here. So I was thinking about what really matters, and people make the comment, hey, size doesn't matter, shapes don't matter in um, different places in life. And you know what? A lot of those places do matter. And a lot of those things. Can you all hear my daughter in the background? Kind of. So if you all can't hear my daughter, she's breathing funky. So if it's a really, you hear tweets, oh, well, that was my son, because he knows I'm on a live and he wants people to know he's there. It's like, yeah, he just wants to see me get upset.
Just mad, not upset.
Mad.
Because it's kind of funny.
Because he thinks it's funny. But I'm going to cam up here. I just like to use my avatar that Panda Mary made. It was so cute. Very cute. I know. Sometimes size does matter. You're right. Because we can't do jobs that average size people can do. There are height restrictions and height that you need to be able to do, like being a flight attendant. You need to be able to reach the safety equipment, which is stored overhead. You would think they put them low, but no, that's not an FAA regulation. Yes, I know you were being naughty. Very much so. Just keep it real. But they do. There's so many things that people with, and because we're all individually different, we run into things where size does matter. And whether it be, and I'll use an airplane as an example. People who are in wheelchairs or unable to walk cannot sit in the emergency seats. Yeah. Barbarian's Wife. Back in the day, they did have to be tall. And now it's just tall enough to reach the safety equipment. So that's probably like 5 foot, 5'2" to the back of that overhead bin. I can't even reach the overhead bin. If I were a flight attendant, I would tell some tall guy sitting in the front row, hey dude, could you please help me out here? I can't reach it to do my little, little. I worked for an airline, so it was like that. And even seating, if in a lot of ways, if you're too overweight, then you have to buy another seat. It's crazy. And I don't always think about what the differences are. And if you're super tall, how do you fit in those little seats that are in coach? Oh, Mirandy, you need to yell at her for later. Definitely. I got to see this. Super Snoops, honestly, when people say fill in the blank doesn't matter, they don't want to think about it or find ways to accommodate it. Yeah, it's true. Because a lot of times visual means a lot. It's like your first impression of, but no, they don't think about it. What the different people, like what you do, they don't think about that. Like, oh, when we design an airplane, we have to make it for all skinny, short people. How does that work when you got some guy who's 6 foot tall and he's all legs? And that's really difficult. Snow, you said you got offered a job as a flight attendant the week before the airline went under. LOL. I worked for Midwest Express Airlines for 14 years, and they slowly declined into going under. Eastern Airlines, a friend of mine, he worked for them for 35 years. When Eastern Airlines went under, everybody lost their pensions. So he was 60 plus years old and had no pension. It was gone. Everything was gone. Just keep it real. I hate that overweight people have to pay for an extra seat. I know that's not okay. Exactly. We just need to just accommodate them, Yeah. The way, like when I travel, I always am able to do a pre-board because I can't pop my carry-on overhead, nor do I want to have someone reach it for me. I want to be able to do it myself. So to get in those tiny little seats, like you have to be tiny. My butt, okay, just imagine this, right? Is at the same level as the seat. So like I have to lift my rear a little bit as best I can to get into the row because the seats are made and positioned so people can sneak in there. But you're right. People have to pay for an extra seat. And from my experience from working on an airline, all infants should have their own seat, no matter what age. And I know, yes, because it's safe. In my opinion, it's much safer if your newborn has their own seat, but you have to pay for that seat. And if the flight is full, so if you don't pay for that, the likelihood of you finding something next to you, yeah, it's just really crazy. Snowstorm Snoops, that's because it's inconvenient for them. Yep. That always annoys me. Like if someone's issue is inconvenient for how do they think it's living with that limitation, right? Yes, definitely. the one thing that I do know, my daughter, and I think I've told this story, she works at Amazon. She had an over the phone interview, didn't know what location she was going to. They gave her the address. They said, "Can you start on Monday?" She's like, "Sure." And she showed up and she was at a distribution center. Those people, they were shocked for one, but she just didn't tell them. They didn't ask questions. She didn't know what she was going to do for Amazon. She just knew she got a job. And Amazon quickly put accommodations. They have an actual department called accommodations, and they had her work area all set up for her and a plan into place, like what to do. Just keep it real. Remember that one time my luggage went to some little town in New York? Yes, with your laptop in it. I would be so angry and so upset because it's inconvenient. And again, they should have had that space. And most they should have been able to accommodate you. If you can take a carry-on, you need to be able to take that carry-on. Yes, your carry-on was within the legal limit or the size requirement. It was smaller than that. And they're like, no, because you couldn't hold your handbag or whatever on your lap. It's crazy. Yes, Amazon has been very, very good to Olivia. But like Snow says, it's such an inconvenience for them. And, size is a huge thing. It is. And people look at you and even nowadays, when you hear, you call, let's say, AT&T, for example, and you are calling their customer service, and these calls are all distributed all around the world. And instead of having an option on the phone, whether it speaks English, they speak English or non-English, or what language they speak, to set that up to distribute their phone calls accordingly. Instead, we as humans are stuck with somebody who can barely speak our language or barely comprehend our language, because that's just who we are. It would be like someone who only speaks Chinese trying to talk to me about some service that they receive in another country, and I don't speak that language. It gets very frustrating. And yeah, a lot of companies here in America are outsourcing to other countries instead of creating these jobs for us. And they want to save money, but still, how does that impact us as people? And here, no, I was last to board and they said, sorry, carry-on space is full. Like, what now? I was mad. I would be angry, super angry. And it's like your carry-on bag was probably bigger than you, and you only take up a little space. And then you can't take your bag, which would fit the other half in this seat. I know, it is crazy. But there's so many things that we actually take for granted. And we do it without thinking of other people, and how do we adapt, like myself and my family adapt in an average size world? Well, we figure it out, and but that's okay. That's for daily living. Could I have my furniture on the floor? Yes. Snow, I agree. That is why I believe we need a national language. It's not about discrimination, it's about cohesion as a country. I agree 100%. I agree. And this is the way it is. I've been to other countries like Germany, and yeah, yes, they might know English, but they choose not to because they believe that I should be speaking German. Or France. I think France, it's really tough. I don't know anymore, but when I worked for the airlines, France was a tough country for us to communicate in, very much so. Every person that buys a ticket is allowed one carry on. So why is there no space? Anyways, I did get it back. Thank goodness. Yes. When you make a policy and you need to talk about, a lot of times you're like, oh, you can't take that on board because of weight restrictions. Okay. Because the but they're going to put it underneath for you. Well, then, if you are allowed one carry on and a fixed restriction size, yeah, you need to. You really do need to. They need to account for that. And yes, they don't account. They don't design the interior of an airplane to really accommodate everybody. They really don't. And if they did, they would have allowed more space as a carry-on. I don't use I put my carry-on bag underneath the seat in front of me, and a lot of people don't. They put them in the overhead bin, and it's frustrating. It's really sad. I didn't snowstorm. I don't know if France is still that way, but when I went there 20 years ago, they made you struggle through it. Absolutely, that they did. And they enjoyed making you struggle through the language barrier. Just keep it real. I didn't care. I was desperate to get home. So I was like, whatever. I probably feel that way, especially you were gone for such a long period of time. It was just nice to get home. Yep, definitely. So, like Snow said, it would be great to have a national language, have things be more um, average throughout for everything. It really should be. And you should be able to accommodate. Like in our apartment, our shower heads are up high, and you can't remodel, when you live in an apartment. And I love apartment living. I will tell you that I owned a house the majority of my adult life. And we've lived here now 8 years, and I love it. Just saying, I love it. And they said, it says like in your lease agreement, no accommodations. Well, we put on our shower with the rope or whatever so we can put another shower head in for us, so it's lower, so you get the feel of the more powerful part of the shower as opposed to under the sprinkler kind of situation. And there are things that we've had to do, I think. Plus, we have stools all over our house. Um, and it's not like we would think about having them change that. I do know in New York, they have a lot more accommodations for people with individual differences, especially like handicap apartments. I shouldn't say handicap, but they are ADA compliant for people with disabilities, if that's what you choose. For us, that's even worse when height is required. And a lot of them, it's very hard for people who are in wheelchairs in those ADA compliant circumstances and situations. But we also look at, we're very fortunate, like what really matters. And I think, when I think about it, when you look beyond like physical, but when you look at what's on the inside, like a person's integrity, that should really matter. That you as an individual have integrity and being honest, and true friendships, those really matter, just like your family should really matter. However, there are situations in families that they're very separate, but that's okay. That's the way that family works. I have a very close knit family, but you're right, Snow. It really doesn't matter so much anymore, right? And privileges matter. Like, we're fortunate in this country that we have an opportunity to vote. It's a privilege. So, if that privilege should really matter to people, it doesn't matter who gets elected as president of the United States, because if you don't vote, which is a privilege, it really doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter to you of who is elected. Or, we're just really privileged here. And I know some people are like, oh my gosh, it really doesn't matter. No, it does matter. And even your faith really matters. The faith that you have, whether it's in God or something else, your faith and believing is really important. And it does matter. It does matter if God is in your life, if that's what you so choose. Does education really matter? In the grand scheme of things, a lot of corporations put a lot of pressure if you have a college degree. And if there are people, one like myself, who has like all this experience in mid-level management, but because I don't have a 4-year college degree and I go to apply for a job, the systems, the computer systems, the people are all left out of it these days. You submit your resume, you fill out your application. If you don't say college degree, it automatically shoots out you into the reject pile, and then you get a automatic email that you don't qualify. And that is very sad, and it's very difficult. I'm going to put my link here. And if anybody wants to come up, that would be fun to talk about, like, what really matters to you. And people may disagree with me, but individual thinking matters. It really does. We would all hate to be robots in the world and have that. Yes, it's different in Georgia now. Employers don't seem to care about college degrees as much anymore. That's a good thing, because you can have 3 master's degree. A friend of mine does, and she's been working at Walgreens for the past 25 years, because her master degrees that she has, she couldn't find a job after she had graduated from college because she had no experience. It was just crazy. Many people in this country don't appreciate all the privileges we have in this country, but also the responsibility it represents. If we screw up this country, we screw up the world. Absolutely. because we are looked at from a global perspective as the world leader. Yep, I would be. Employers are fed up with what's coming out of our colleges. And I agree, 100%. And they should be. I mean, I've had millennials who just didn't do nothing. They would sit on their phone, texting, and doing all the things. And that was just really, it was a waste of time and money when they could have been, somebody else could have had that job. Your daughter has a PhD in special ed and is now an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is definitely the way to go these times, in my opinion. We all have marketable talents. Yes, we did. Exactly. 100%. Because we do. Some of us are good in sales and others aren't. But entrepreneurship is so important. One of the things somebody told me one time, when you talk about is renters, you can tell the difference between renters and owners, because when you own something, like we rent, and I'll tell you, my apartment is very lovely and I keep it clean and tidy and all the things, but a lot of people who are renters don't take care of where they live. Like an owner's mentality in a lot of ways, not every owner, they have a sense of pride in ownership. And that's something, your pride matters, to be grateful and thankful for what you have. That really, I think, is important. It really does. Hold on. I'm just going to turn my body here because I was writing some notes and then I forgot them right behind me. But love matters. You don't have to love each other, but your love and what you give really matters to people. And it's so important. Like, I love my children, and the love that I have for them can't even be described into words. And if they accept that love, then it all works into one place. Snowstorm, she's pulling in $1,200 a day. She never made that kind of money as a principal at her school. Absolutely. Yep. She works hard for her money and she's proud of her business. And that's a hard thing today. It's hard to find people who are proud for what they have and what they do. And not only that, she just keep it real. It's because she takes pride into herself and how she feels about herself will be displayed outward. And that's so true and so exciting. You know what? One person, and I'll talk about her, and I'm okay with it, talking about somebody, but Tara, if any of you have been on her channel lately, you look how happy she is. And so much has changed in her life, from physical to addictions and those kind of things. And her happiness in herself just like is vibrant out into the, and whoever she's talking to. Yeah, it's about your passion and pursuing your passion. And she did just that. Yep. That she's very talented, very. Did you guys hear the commencement speech Jerry Seinfeld just gave? I thought he said something very profound. I'll have to like look that up. That would be very cool. Yes, no, I'm proud of her. She stayed away from Michelle and really committed to change. Absolutely. And it's been so much fun watching her really grow. She just got her channel back up and starting, and to see how happy she is. I can tell you how happy I am, but if I'm not happy, it's not going to radiate throughout. And my happiness is relates to your happiness because it all affects each other. Yep, Tara's a sweetheart. I'm so happy she got away from Michelle. She did. And she changed her life and the way she interacts with people. And I know at the very beginning, I think it was very hard for her to walk away. And now, what are we looking at? Like a year later? What did you say? It's been almost a year, maybe 9 months later. And look at, she's glows when she speaks and she's so happy. And when we see that, or I see that, that just makes me happy. It makes my heart, I shouldn't say like my heart sing, but it does. I'm so grateful to see people. But yes, happiness matters, because if we were all sad, life would be miserable. And even being kind to each other. I know sometimes we'll just use Michelle as a little example. You know, when she's not kind to others, people don't want to be kind back to you. For sure. Seinfeld said the world has become upside because we have become ashamed of the things for which we should be proud of, and proud of the things for which we should be ashamed. Absolutely. That is. Wow. Yep. We do. And look at the history back in our country, you know, in the 1800s, right? And how it changed. And it's very prevalent, like in the South, how things changed. Well, just think if that didn't unfold on its own, you know, when Lincoln was president and freeing the slaves and giving people an opportunity to really love one another and to see kindness. And it wasn't based then on the color of your skin, it was based on who you are as a person. But we focus a lot on all the negativeness. And, you know, by my mother in law, she grew up in a time where people in the 1940s and 50s, when having an accent, because she's Mexican, her family has been in this country for 6 generations, that she was treated not well living in New Mexico because she had an accent in her voice. They even had opposite bathrooms. The girls' bathroom said white above it, and then the other bathroom was just for everybody else. And she, because of that, the way people had treated her, she took that negative experience, and now she kind of kicks herself. She didn't teach her children Spanish because she didn't want them to be ridiculed in school. And she meant well because of her experience. You learn from your experience to either change or to do other things. And she had done that. And now today, you know, Steve, he can understand Spanish, but he doesn't speak it. But he just understands. He can't reply in Spanish. So therefore he doesn't have an accent. Right. Getting away from the YouTube drama has been amazing. I cling to those who remain positive. Yep. Absolutely. It's that is very much so. Just keep it real. I've been really down today all day because of a brief interaction with Michelle and Bot yesterday. You don't always realize this much ugliness like that just hangs on you. It does. Yep. And I can tell you when I was engaged in that friendship with a woman here on YouTube, how I worked so hard at being her friend and I worked so hard at wanting her to be a better person that it really did pull you down because I was always worried about her it and instead of her embracing that friendship, she used that friendship to try to build other relationships, so basically we were on the bottom step, I could say. Definitely. How much? LOL. That is my aphasia coming through. LOL. Aphasia. I haven't heard that word in a really long time. Yep, that's your sign to step away from that. Yep. If having an interaction on YouTube with somebody that was negative, yeah, if it starts physically impacting you, yeah, you're right. Just keep it real. You and I were definitely used, and we worked so hard at being true, really good friends that it, was distraught. And then when people, hey, Colin, good to see you, my friend. I always get excited to see you in chat because you're so sweet. And yeah, it was a very harmful relationship. Harmful. It was harmful to us. And for us, to hear what was going on or what was said yesterday or what was said 6 months ago when we were in the thick of what a friendship is, and to her, it really did matter. And for her to call me the M word was horrible. Horrible. Who says that? Yes, because in my mind and in her mind, size really did matter. Hi, Gabby. It's good to see you, my friend. So it's so sad that, and to me, friendship, and I'm talking about true friendship, is really important. And my integrity and my, how people look at me is extremely important because it matters. Yep. Snow. No, wow. What the fuck? Snow, where have you been? Yep. She lost two very good friends. Her loss. Big loss. Huge. Really huge. Oh, Gabby, good. I didn't know if you were in here still or you kind of had disappeared. But yeah, she did. And the friendship at times would, hey, Brenda, good to see you. Very good to see you, my dear. And Colin, thank you very much, Susie. I try to bring positivity to everyone and upliftment. That you do. You really, really do. But it's so important. And that friendship still to this day really eats at my soul. And it's not because I'm afraid to be in other friendships. But it was so hard. It was a hard relationship to keep, and you put so much work and energy in it because you want them to be well and to do better. I think, you can't cure and you can't help people. You can only help really make them better by just using yourself. But if they don't want it, they're never going to take it for sure. See, that's why this shit with bot affected Boots and I so badly. We invested so much into that friendship and really believed we were protecting people. Oh my gosh, that is the same kind of relationship. We thought we were protecting her. And I'll just say, you know, just keep it real. She's right, but there are some things that still bother me and I have a hard time getting over. But yes, you worked so hard and we were trying to protect her and we were trying to believe her. And as time went on through a whole year, you know, we just couldn't always um you couldn't always, it was terrible. And hi, just keep it real, and thank you very much. Your man is saying your friend is losing things, lol. Oh my gosh, Colin, I think that's so amazing that you really think about or the connection that you're able to transmit into Just Keep It Real's friend or her people. I'm like, wow. Yes, we did. We tried to guide her in a better direction. Yep. And it failed. And then when we saw, yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Can you see my link? If not, I can post it again. Control B. Oh my goodness. Colin, that's like so amazing. So amazing. Snow, definitely you can come up. I need to grab something for a moment. Jennifer, she says. Oh. That is interesting. Hmm.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello. So here's my question.
Uh-huh.
First of all, how did you find out that she used the M word? Did she use it to
Because
your face or did you find
no,
out later?
and she was talking to other people in this community.
Okay,
They
so here's
and they were, and how do I say this? She was saying, how does the conversation, people who she would talk to, like towards the end of the relationship, which kind of canceled our relationship immediately, said they were coming out of the woodwork, people, and had told Just Keep It Real. That's how she would describe me.
so okay. And I'd be curious to see what Just Keep It Real's answer is to this too, because I think that you and I are similar in
Oh, very much.
respect, and that
Uh-huh.
and then from the way she talks, I think maybe she's different. So I'm curious, did you find it very hard to accept the truth even after you knew that it was true?
Um,
Because
at
I did.
first, like towards the end, things were occurring, stories weren't the same. And we were like an afterthought, like when she needed money. And then started, um, how do I say,
Hey y'all.
was stating,
Hey Snows.
I just think
hello.
sometimes there's I think sometimes there's like, when you say, oh, from a situation, there's two types of people in the world. I mean, obviously there's more types, but there
Right,
are people who really like, they invest, they go deep for you, but
right,
when they're done, they're done. And then
right.
there's people that like can't always pull back. So for the longest time I was like, she's gonna tell me something that'll make this wrong, and then I can apologize. Like, I'm gonna apologize to her because she's gonna tell me something that's gonna make this not what it was.
Right,
And it was just, and I knew that it was true. I knew that the lot that it was I was lied to and deceived and treated like shit. I knew
right.
that intellectually, but my heart didn't want to believe that. Does that make any sense?
Yes. Like it took a little while when we had heard through the grapevine that she would identify me as the N word.
It's just so awful. That's just so
Isn't that
awful.
I
awful?
wanted to, can I address that real quick?
Yeah.
Snow's question. Someone who had no dog in the fight, right? Reached out and let us know that she was doing this shit behind our backs, even when we still supported her, like for months. And again, not just one person reached out to us, several people did. Telling us what she was saying about us while we're over here looking stupid supporting her. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Hey,
It was,
Craze. Good to see you. Hey,
and
Samantha.
I'm telling you, I got a phone call one night, enlightening me about all this, and I was like, I am done. Pardon my French, but fuck you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the next day, I got a text from said person, saying many, but the one that really set up was, have your husband calm nerves better. Okay, them's fine words, right?
Wait, what? You were breaking up a little bit. What did they
Because
say?
that's my husband.
She was,
What did who say?
can you repeat it? What she said to you in that text about your husband? That he could do
She
better.
said, have your husband call me. He deserves better.
Oh my God.
And yeah. So I was like, pardon?
Oh my God.
Pardon? I beg your pardon. you know, um, anyway, yeah, that happened. But I'm very grateful that the people who reached out to Susie did, in fact, reach out and told us what was going on behind
Wow.
our backs, because that's still for me. You know what I mean? And she's a piece of shit. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah. It was really hard. Just keep it real. I don't know. you're in a space where you keep breaking up when you're talking. I don't know if your AirPod
Oh, I
is.
am?
Yeah, you were before. Maybe
How
it was
about
just
now?
re-listening. That sounds better. But
Hey,
no, I think,
Samantha.
yeah, and it was hard here. Cray said, I was lucky and learned very quickly. She did a lot of back and forth between many behind the scenes, so I unsubbed and blocked and walk away. She thinks disappearing, then coming back, people will forget. They won't forget. I don't ever want someone to be in the situation I was in that friendship and
Right.
relationship. You know,
Well,
unfortunately.
she's crazy as hell if she thinks people are gonna forget because no one has forgotten, Miss Bam. No one has forgotten. So, um, yeah.
Okay, I get it. Sorry, I'm
Mhm.
getting summoned.
Oh, sweet kitty, sweet kitty cat.
He's wanting me to pull out a snack.
Samantha said, as soon as she asked for someone's email, the scam was on. Yes. And that
Yep,
never made sense
yep.
to me. I thought, oh, she was just trying to be nice, getting to know them. But every single person that went into her chat, she would always say, hey, here's my email. I'd love to get to know you. But in reality, it was a love to get to know you because I need money.
Something.
Exactly. And it really wasn't friendship. The more that I thought about it, she didn't need friendship. She needed to either.
Susie, Samantha, can you go block rapper, please?
Oh no.
He's still out there. Yeah.
Samantha, scroll up and block rapper, please, ma'am.
And Cray said she had good friends in you too, and clearly at her age, it wasn't enough. And friendships clearly mean nothing to her, even after personally meeting you both. Yeah.
Yep.
We stood up for her during the whole Navy vet scandal.
God,
And
we did like idiots.
yeah, like,
Thank you, Samantha.
and we couldn't understand. And of course, that was last May. And I'm the type of person, like, just keep it real is one and done. I'm done. And then
Oh
there's
yeah.
me who's always assessing like the relationship, like why didn't I know sooner, how did I not know, and how was I so dumb, and I was questioning myself.
That's. And do you think that one of you is more valuable to her, or do you think you were both like?
Oh, tell her what she said to you, Christy, about me and you when she
Did
first
she ever try to pit
introduced
you
us.
against each other?
Yep. Tell her, Susie.
Yeah,
Tell it.
well, when she introduced the two of us together, she said, I don't want you becoming best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the opportunity, I'm giving it to you for
Wow.
you to meet with each other. And yeah, and then she felt.
And she also tried to pit us against each other one particular time, and we saw right through it.
Right.
It was concerning a business venture,
Mm-hmm.
and she was
Yeah.
telling me one thing that Susie quote unquote said, and then I kind of got a little bit perturbed with Susie because I believed her, but then I talked about it with Susie, and she's like, I never fucking said that. And I was like, I believe you.
Yep. I never
So yeah,
did.
she did try to, pit us against each other. She absolutely did.
See, that's what happened in my situation too. where we each, like, Boots went too hard for her, and
Right.
I was too quick to say, like, my feelings are hurt, so I'm just going to walk away. So when I didn't communicate with Boots, then we never found out what was going on with the other. So
Right.
we both erred because she jumped in one direction and I jumped in the other direction, and that put the chasm really far apart for both of us. And it
Right.
took us a good year before we ever pieced really together how things really were maneuvered, if that makes it.
Right.
I'm trying to be coy without
Yeah.
being coy, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we didn't
Yeah.
even see. And at one point, um Michelle was going to dox me, or she was claiming that she was going to dox me. And that has real world, there's a reason why that has real world implications for me in a couple of different ways. That has nothing to do with YouTube, that has nothing to do with, you know, anything I'm ashamed of. It's just, it just would have be problems because of things I've talked about. And
Mirandy, is that really you? If it's you, I'll let you up. I just saw you faded.
Who?
Mirandy, but
Oh.
I think that's her.
So,
We need to establish a code word when people want to come up.
Exactly.
So okay, so long and short was, she was going to go on Ski's panel, and I was on the phone with Bot, and I said, "What should I do? What should I do? Ski's dropping the link. Should I beg him not to give her the platform? Because then she would have been shut out and would have had nowhere, at least for a couple of days. You know, that I could do something to try to, you know, figure out what I was going to do, or maybe there would be a way to shut her down, because we were
Right.
scrambling at that point." And so when he dropped the link, I was like, okay, I'm going to take it. And I guess Bot didn't want me to. So she texted Boots.
Okay, hold on 1 second, Snow. That is not Mirandy, Susie. Don't let them
Thank
up.
you. I won't.
Okay.
Was it Rapper?
Probably.
I don't know, but it's not Mirandy. I promise.
Okay.
No, go on.
So anyway, the long and short of it was that Boots was then sending me texts about going up on the panel and really attacking me because Bot, after we got off the phone and she said, "Yeah, go ahead, take the link," went and told Boots, "How dare she take the link? I can't believe she's doing this to me. She's going to really screw me up. I'm going to catch all sorts of heat." And so then I'm getting these hate texts from Boots because she had literally put her up to it.
Right.
Goodness.
So now we're at each other's throats because I'm reacting to what she's saying, and I never said why did you, why? I didn't even ask her. I was just like, well, if you're going to talk to me like that,
yeah,
then I'm going to be pissed, and I'm going to take my little marbles and go home. And it created a big chasm, and I guess because she didn't want us to be best friends either.
Right. And she used you for, based off of the relationship and the how people viewed you in the community. Because like Snow, she's like amazing. You know, if I have her in my corner, people are going to respect me more because you're respected. And that's what
That's
she
sweet.
did. And that's what I think, like, oh my gosh, I think you're very well respected. I haven't seen anything. And that's what I think. We were used as her publicity. So that, like, just keep it real. You know, it was and is respected in the community. So if she's friends with me, then definitely people are going to believe our situation or that. But there's some things here in the chat. Samantha, I never gave her my email, but later found out she doxed me. Yeah. If if you didn't provide her with really what she was wanting for, she would get rid of you, whether it was to dox
Yep.
you or not. Yeah.
Yep.
Her MO is, hey, I like to talk and blah, blah, blah. Email me. Then gets a phone number. And I think she feels people out like predatory behavior on who she can run a con on. Yep. Whose mental health also she plays on as well. Their situations, whether they are, if people are sad or lonely, that was a good person. Even though they weren't financially able to help her, they'd still financially help her.
Exactly. That bothered me more than anything.
Yeah. Gabi, I've met some pretty awesome ladies on here. I can't imagine them turning and being this way. Well, with the whole us to our relationship, just keep it reals, and my relationship was real. And so when she tried,
Yep.
after the first time, when she tried to pit us against each other by making horrible statements that you can't even imagine, um, you're like, did I do that? And you started questioning yourself.
Right.
And
Exactly.
friendship that makes it questioning yourself and the other person is just horrible. She does that. Just keep it real. So nobody discusses what she asks or takes from others regarding money or prescriptions other will give her. She's a con.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
And
Bingo.
we had no idea that she was requesting money from people. Like towards the end, probably in the last 2 months of the relationship, we started seeing things, and we just had to be, like Samantha says, we all have to be careful. We have to really think through that. Like, a sick animal and doesn't have any money to take it to the vet. Well, your partner, he has a job and can afford to pay the vet bill, but nope, didn't want to ask. No, didn't want to ask. He's not going to do that. I can't bother him with that. Oh my gosh, then don't be in a relationship like that. If they can't help you. And then it was, she needs money for gas because she's stranded in Albany, and
Or
needs
she needs money to buy her grandson an outfit. I was like, what? No.
exactly. Hey, Mirandy, yes, I figured it wasn't you. Everybody put me on high alert that it wasn't you.
We did.
But
We didn't
no,
want any P bombs over here.
Right.
nope, don't need that.
Rapper. We don't want to see your stuff, honey.
Keep your dingling to yourself.
Exactly. But then, you started going, well, should I help her? And I'm like, no, I'm not helping you anymore because you have a boyfriend who has a very lucrative job and there's money rolling in. Why don't you just call him? And then the lie came into effect. Oh, he's in a meeting. And I'm like, so? Well, he's in a really important meeting and he doesn't have his phone. I'm like, what?
Okay.
Oh, okay. And I'm like, no way. And then, yep. And then when she said, oh, I put a text out to Golden Treasure. She's
generous.
She's generous.
Woo,
And I'm
wee.
like, what? you would ask somebody on, YouTube who's a subscriber in your chat for money. And then she said, I never gave her money. And I didn't remember doing that. And sure shooting I did.
A lot of money.
Yeah. So I'm like, but after we all met in person, and I mean, but from what I understand of what she said after she met us, it's just crazy. And I wouldn't. Yet she's on most vacations.
Well, I'll tell you, the thing that really hurt me was I tried to leave quietly. I
Right.
really did. I was going to say nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
Because I knew she, I didn't want to get into it. I just wanted to go do my own thing. And I even said, listen, let's just use my channel as the excuse. I'm so there's only so much time in the day. I'm this sickly person because I do have significant health issues. I'm like, let's just go, let's lean into the truth. And I'm sick and I can't be, and that's why I'm not here. And that'll be our my way of getting out. And all she had to do was let me go.
Yeah.
And if she had never said a word about me, I never would have said a word about her.
And that's the same here.
But then people
Exactly.
started coming.
Exactly.
Then people started telling me, I don't know how to tell you this, but there's things being said in Telegram. And I could always judge whether somebody was telling me something by two things. I could see it by how many subscribers I lost in that day, and I would see it by how reluctant they were to tell me. So meaning if somebody was if it was hard for them to tell me, I knew it was true. Because if somebody was just lying to me to be malicious, then they don't care. They're not gonna feel badly. But if somebody knows they're really hurting your feelings, they're gonna be reluctant.
Right.
So when they come to you and they're like, I don't know how to tell you this, but this was said.
Right.
It was kind of like, wow. After all the hours I put in, after all the things I did, all the things I did to help, to protect, to I just, and then yesterday I was stunned that she was asking me to come to her defense. I'm like, listen, of all the people in this you can't possibly think with all the people that there are in this community that I'm the person you should ask for that.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? After everything you did, and never once said I'm sorry, because then I would be done with it. You know what I'm saying? But never once said I'm sorry. I did. I was dishonest. I really was. I screwed up. I'm sorry. And I wouldn't want to be friends, but at least then it would be like resolved. If you said I was malicious because I felt this way and this is why I did it, and that, then at least you understand it.
Right.
But to come and say, well, you think you're the moral compass of this community, so you should defend me. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. Yeah, they are. It's hard. It's hard to accept as a person. Hey, it's Southern Dad. Good to see you in here. Cray said, look at what she did to Tragic and Beezer, all over not wanting to pay Beezer back. She contacts Michelle and Demon Glam to start BS and spread lies. Yeah.
She borrowed money from Beezer?
I guess so.
Wow.
But I mean, look at, and she did that to Tragic too. That's so sad. Yep, it's so sad. And we weren't her money train. Like I said, I think she used us because we were respectable and people would respect us. And if they knew we were friends with her, then they could trust her. It's a lot. Yes, Samantha, no reason she can't be working. She has no little ones at home and seems to get out and about just fine. Yep, she has a vehicle. She apparently has gas. She could get out and do that. But her family must know because, like, why wouldn't you call your daughter if you're stranded in the same city that her daughter lives in, like 5 minutes away, and say, hey, I'm stranded, my dear. I don't have gas and I thought I had money. No, because she knew they wouldn't give her money. And it was all about money. I mean, and it went from her animals, sob stories about the animals, sob story about you, and she used her grandson, which is horrible. Um, and there was so much, so much. Samantha says, Crazed, I can't work due to the severity of your medical issues. I did work as long as I could, but as I got older, it was too much. I miss working. I'm bored. You know what? Working out of the house, uh, that I work in the house, I do miss it. I miss the interactions. I really miss all of that as well. But yeah,
I
no,
miss the feeling of purpose.
yes, because at least you were recognized for something, you know, for being there. And I loved managing people. I really did. And it was one of my favorite things. But now I work one day on the weekend and work in a home decor boutique, which I love because I get to be there with people every time I work and I really enjoy it. Oh, she sure enjoys talking about sitting in the pool when it's warm out, when she should be working if she needs money. She told me her and her fiance were looking to buy a newer Jetta. She told him she wanted, yeah, same thing, but you don't have money for gas. But yeah, but you and I would never have said anything if she didn't say something first.
Right.
I never probably would have said anything about it. And I probably would have just walked away quietly.
Well, I think she was afraid I was going to say something, and I think the other reason that she trashed me so badly and why she can't come off of it now, because then it would be admitting, well, I made it all up, is that honestly, when I left, people noticed it. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So like, Bomb showed the picture, and the
Uh,
minute I saw that picture, I knew. I mean, there was just no escaping it that that was an adult person, and I could see the eye shape and everything, and I was like, oh, damn. And it took me a long time to accept it, but I mean, you can't deny what you see in front of your eyes. You can't see visual proof of something. You know, if you see something written about yourself, you see the M word on a page, you know that it's on the page. You can't pretend you didn't see it.
right.
I wanted to pretend I wasn't seeing what I was seeing, but I knew that I was seeing it. And it was kind of like, oh, okay. So then every time I was asked, I would just say, I only know what I know. I only know what I know. And then I found the newspaper articles and then I couldn't say that anymore. And that's when I left. So I think what happened with you must have happened during that like 5 to 6 weeks that I just left because I didn't know what to do.
Right. And I noticed that you were MIA
Did you?
because
I
you
just
were,
didn't know what to
Oh,
do. I mean,
I did too, Snow.
yeah,
I
I
did.
would look at
I was
your,
like, where did she go?
yeah, like I missed your lives. That really um, impacted your live streaming.
listen, the channel was a lot of work. And so
Yeah.
it was always a struggle to do that by myself. And so I just, that I can't blame on her. But, well, I might have done it more conversationally if I wasn't trying to differentiate myself because she was really bothered by that. Well, you're doing what I'm doing. And then I would be like, but no, because I'm really talking about it in a very different way. Because I'm really not sitting here playing Michelle for 5 hours. And I never really had any interest in that. When I tell you, we really asked her to move off of Michelle. It was like, okay, you could still keep going back to it, because I think, that was important to so
Yeah.
that people weren't giving her money. But at the same time, do we need to spend 5 hours a night restreaming this garbage?
Right.
Is there nothing
Right.
else we could talk about? Is there literally nothing else we can talk about? And we would give her all of these ideas, and nothing would ever come from it. So I can't really blame her for the channel. But not wanting to be anywhere on the platform was because I felt like I was now in a position where I was literally lying to everybody.
Right.
And
That's
so when she says I'm the moral compass, why? Because I really just don't want to lie to people I genuinely like.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
When I ask people how are you feeling today, I'm not asking it to be flip. I'm asking it because I'm genuinely interested. So if I'm genuinely interested in you and I'm genuinely invested in you, in even a little way, the idea that I'm walking to you and you're going to ask me a question, or you're saying, so you still okay with her, right? Oh, sure. Yeah, I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lying to you. I'm lying to you in everything I'm saying and everything I'm doing, because I'm allowing you to continue to give money and support
Right.
that I know you wouldn't give if you knew the truth. And now I know the truth. Now I know the truth because I've read the article. And the article says it's not 2 kids. The article says so I don't even know if that's your relative, but I know whoever this was, it wasn't the way you said it was, and it wasn't the kids you said it was, and it wasn't any of the things you said it was. And so the more you kept talking about it, the more the money must have been rolling in.
Right.
And now it's like, I can't give these people back their money. I
Right.
can't make it right. I can't make it right with anything but the truth. So now what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And I was really, really grateful to ironically, with all the division and everybody, the sides and all the crap that goes on in this platform, I was really grateful to both Bombshell and Jenny and Boots. So here, we were fighting for 6 months. We couldn't stand the sight of one another.
Mm.
And she allowed me to come back to the platform because by their actions they eliminated the lie for me.
Right. And you were sucked in just as we were.
Trying to do the right thing. You were trying to do the right thing. You weren't trying to deceive anybody. You were genuinely defending somebody you thought needed to be defended, which I think is so rare and so honorable in this day and age.
And in the with the Navy vet thing, MG, she supposedly was protecting Navy vet. And I went to her and I said, do you all know somebody who's like managing her money? Who gives all this money away? And, I felt bad. And then I tried to reach out only to be called a snake in the grass, but it is what it is. And I was trying to protect her. Not only Christy, but also Navy vet. Like, does somebody know she's giving away all this money to all these people? And it was large sums of money, all because she only had one soda in the fridge and an orange. That leads me to think her fiance doesn't eat there. I would probably say, no, I don't. Not from him always being golfing all the time. And the other thing is he would never, from my perspective, she never went out in public with him, to my knowledge. I mean, on vacation.
Nope.
He
Never.
did everything by himself. Wouldn't you be so proud if you were engaged that you go
Yes.
to Kiwanis event or some other events in this city, like business owners, and take your fiance with you because she's amazing and you want everybody to meet her. But nope, didn't do anything. Didn't even go to funerals. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy.
And why do you think that is?
Because he knew.
He was
She was
embarrassed.
Yep, very much so. You know, the bank president dating, having a fiance who was a criminal. And oh yeah,
Right.
like her criminal stuff, I really believed what she said
Mm-hmm.
about the theft of children's shoes. Oh, it was an accident. I'm like,
What?
and
Oh,
the
God.
story.
We
And
were such idiots, weren't
we
we?
were. We were.
I
I
mean,
know.
Honestly, I'm just sitting here laughing as I'm listening to all this because you just sound like me in Boots.
Yeah. We're
it
such
is
idiots. Like,
so crazy to look back on it and think, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a very intelligent, educated person, right?
me as well.
How the hell did I buy her bullshit? How? I want to kick myself, you know?
Exactly. And I still laugh about her going to jail. And I'm like, and she said it's really boring and you just sit there for like 2 days and do nothing. I said, you can't talk to the other inmates. I would, but I have no idea what it's like. I don't know what it's like to ever been arrested or taken to jail. I have no clue how that works.
You're exactly right, Crazed.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I believe.
yeah, exactly.
Her last comment, you see that one?
Let me see. I think
Yeah, that
this
one.
one. I think he
Yep.
knows she's a hype and a con, or it's arranged. It's not an engagement. If you don't fit in the person in your lifestyle, over embarrassment. Yeah,
Yep.
it's something.
Yes,
And
Colin. She certainly did, Colin.
yeah,
But see, there's no point. I think that's the thing. Is that that's why I think it's so healthy. What just keep it real says is that, and I'm not good with this. That's why I'm always curious when I see somebody who is good with it, or who is more like me. Then I'm always curious, like how do they see it? Because when you get out of it and you don't want to take the link, that's healthy. Because if you're telling somebody to
Yes.
take a link, there's part of you that still wants to dissect it, and then you're not free of it.
right.
That's why Bot has a greater effect on me than she does on Boots, because Boots is done. Boots did what she did, she's done. I'm the one who still feels conflicted because I wish it hadn't happened.
Right.
I wish I hadn't been deceived. I wish she I still I there is still a part of me in inside that wishes there was something she could say that could undo that it was a lie,
Mhm.
even though I know there's no way. So that idea of take the link is like you want to figure out, well, why did you lie to me?
Right.
Why didn't you appreciate my gift of friendship?
Yes,
And
Craig.
that's so
Thank
you
you.
shouldn't want the link. You shouldn't want the link at all. That's the healthy, when you're in a healthy space. You just don't even have any interest in that.
Exactly.
So I know that in my head. I know that in my head, but in my heart, I don't.
Exactly. No, I understand the feeling. Like, like me, I wanted to so badly say in her face, like, WTF. Like, how do you do
So
that?
So if you dropped a link now and she wanted to come up, would you want to have a discussion with her?
She will never, ever, ever take a link because she knows we're
No.
right.
But I
Yeah.
mean, would you entertain it if she tried to take a link and yell and carry on or whatever?
I would. I
Yeah,
You
would.
would.
I think so. Even though I
Mhm.
wouldn't want to, I think it's
Right.
important because you have to get that off your chest. I think, you know, just keep it real had a little bit better opportunity and was better at standing up for herself than I was. But yeah, it's and like Colin said, she played you all. Yes, she did. She played everybody. The message she sent to just keep it real regarding her husband showed clearly she's not in her own loving, secure relationship or respectful. Yeah.
Right,
Definitely.
crazed. And she used to refer to me as her best friend in life. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know that was a lie, which is fine. I'm fine with that because, I know who my people are. But could you imagine if I showed her fake fiance that message?
Yeah.
And girl, I still got it. So, yeah, I would love for her to come up and try to debunk anything
Mm-hmm.
that has happened because, I mean, we haven't even talked about Ambulance Gate, right?
Right.
And that was a whole
Ambulance Gate.
girl. Yes. It was
Uh-huh.
hilarious.
You want to tell it?
Sure.
Okay, I'm listening.
Let me answer these quick things. You offered to give her a chance to tell her side. Yep.
Yes.
When she linked Colin, she didn't play me. Mind, I only give messages in her chat. Right. But yes, we need to hear Ambulance Gate.
Oh, God. Oh, I can even tell you the day that it happened because it happened to be my grandson's birthday party.
Mhm.
Uh-oh, hold on. I gotta let the dogs out. Hold on.
Okay. So, hey, Gemini Mama, it's good to see you. We're just telling our experience. We're sharing our experiences with friendships that really didn't matter at the end of the day. Not to us. They did matter, but they didn't.
Okay, I'm back. So,
All right.
Ambulance Gate was in February, right, Susie?
Yes,
Because it
February.
was my grandson's birthday party was that day. In my bathroom, doing my makeup, fixing my hair. You know what I mean? Like preparing to go to the
The
birthday party.
party. Yeah.
Also, let me note, this was the after she was telling. This was a Saturday, the day before. She was telling me and Susie she was ended somewhere with no gas. Okay, just wanted to say that.
Right.
And then magically, I was in the bathroom getting ready for my grandson's birthday party. And she calls me. And not only is she back in town, but she has her grandson with her. Okay. Where
Yes.
is like an hour away from her home. And she was stranded the day before with the grandson because he wanted an outfit and an ice cream, blah, blah, blah. Like she was grifting hard on me and
Oh,
Susie in the
and even for
background.
the Dollar Tree.
Right.
Too. Yep.
Oh yeah, that's another story. But anyway, she called me and she said, "Hey, me. I'm getting ready to go to my grandson's birthday party. What the fuck do you want?" You know, in my head, I was like, "Oh, what the fuck? Are you okay?" Because it's always a catastrophe with her. Always. If she called you something, she needed something, right? It was
Wow.
never about, "Hey, just checking in on you." Right. So anyway, they were supposedly at some local park in her town, and the grandson was in on some merry-go-round or something, and she was on the phone with me on the merry-go-round, allegedly, and all of a sudden she starts screaming bloody murder, and I was like,
What?
"What's happening? Are you okay? Are you okay?" She's like, "I think I just broke my leg. I think I just broke my leg." I was like, I said,
No.
"Give me blank's number, the fiance, and let me call him." She said, "No, playing golf." I was like, "Huh?" Because if I had fallen at a park and I broke my leg, my husband's going to first phone call I make, right?
I'm holding my breath because I see where this is
But she
going and I'm
told
horrified.
me,
Horrified.
I'm almost there. She told me, "No, guess what this bitch told me?" She
All
said,
right.
"We'll call 911." I said, "You're okay. But who calls 911 when you fall? You know what I mean? If it's just little a little sore, hurt little leg." All right, girl, because again, I was trying to get ready for my grandson's birthday party. You know, I am not lying to y'all when I tell you she started texting 10 minutes later talking about, "I'm in the ambulance." I was like, "Oh, for a little hurt leg?" Blah. Like, you know what I mean? It was crazy. It was so then this is about 12:45. Y'all, by 2 o'clock, this girl had been transported to the hospital by ambulance, right?
Yep.
Checked in, checked out, and had a full diagnosis of a torn ACL and PCL. A full diagnosis from the ER department.
In less than 2 hours.
Like, huh? Because like I have, honestly. But anyway, I have two children that have torn their ACLs and their meniscus, and that's not how it works. The ER does not diagnose you, right? They treat you for whatever when you enter with your little knee,
Mm-hmm.
and they refer you to an imaging specialist that can do an MRI on your leg, your knee, and then you're referred to an orthopedic surgeon. And it just happened in an hour and a half, honey. Been there, done that. It was hilarious. I was like, "You are such a liar, bitch." I knew it. Anyway, that's Ambulance Gate.
Did she ask you for the money though for the ambulance?
No.
Oh, that's where I
No,
thought
that
it was
didn't
going.
happen. But
And she doesn't have insurance.
But I have to believe she grifted the money
oh, I'm
from
sure she did
somebody.
because y'all, she sent us this picture of her little swollen knee wrapped up in an ace bandage, and I said, my kids got sent home with whole leg braces when they tore their ACLs, right? They didn't just wrap my kids up in an ace bandage. They secured their legs with whole ass uh you know leg braces from their thigh all the way down to their ankle.
Did she ever address any of this on her channel?
She did. She talked about it. She sure did.
Did she ever talk about you guys?
So then a couple of days passed, and she supposedly went to her regular doctor. I'm sorry, y'all. I know y'all hear my dogs right now. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
They're just play wrestling. But anyway,
Can't be helped.
a day or two passed, and she told me that she went to her quote unquote regular doctor for her Xanax or something. And guess what? Her doctor diagnosed her with a fracture in her, what is that bone in your lower
Tibia?
leg? Yes. And
Tibia?
guess what? Right before that, I had suggested to her, I was like, are you sure your ACL is torn? Because it could just be like a little splint fracture. And then she ran with that story with me. I was like, bitch, I just played you. I knew she was going to run with it. I knew
Yeah.
it.
Oh my gosh.
It was crazy. And then, that was the second thing that happened. And then within less than a week after that, her dog was sick. And she was telling everybody how she didn't have money to take the dog to the vet. And of course, there's me and my big mouth. Why don't you call your fiance? He should pay for it.
For
No.
sure.
And she'd be like, no. And the pictures she sent were horrifying.
Mm.
And I was so
And we told her to take the dog to the vet. We did.
Mhm.
We were like, what are you doing? Like, anyway. And then she did a live about the dog, and she was like, I need advice. And everybody in the chat was like, take the dog to the vet. Take the dog to the vet. Take the dog to the vet. Like over and over. Like, do you really have to tell a grown ass 50-year-old woman to take a dog to a vet? Do we really have to do that? It was weird.
Crazy aside,
Weird.
I gotta say this. That really bothers me because and this is one reason why Michelle makes me so livid at times, is that makes it so hard for people who have chronic pain
Right.
to get proper medications. And I've been hopping up on panels for 2 years now, and I'm on daily medication. You've never seen me zone out like that. So how badly must somebody be off? Like, you can't tell me that they're taking it for any legitimate reason if they're like that on a panel.
Exactly.
Because they would have a tolerance and a set schedule, and like, it's a very regimented thing. I wouldn't first of all, I wouldn't take my pills and then come on a panel 20 minutes later, because my medications will make me sleepy for about 30 minutes. But you have a way of doing it so that you're just never altered because you need the medication. The medication's being used to actually do something. So if somebody is sitting there on a panel like that, it's like you're thumbing your nose in everybody's face. You're saying, I dare you to question it. And then they're going to tell you they have a hairline fracture or something like that. That's it makes me angry because it does make it very, very hard to get proper care now. They're getting to the point where they just don't want to, doctors don't even want to see me for other things like my asthma or my thyroid. They don't even want to treat me because then anything that they prescribe might come into contact with those other meds, and they're so terrified of their license. So I find it hard to even find doctors because of what's going on.
Right. And for people, I know she had stated, but I don't understand about addiction, that she has been like sober for over 10 years and is still on a large dose of Suboxone for the past 10 years. But she would say
I
she
think people do that. I
do
don't know if
they?
that's healthy, but I think they do. If they can't get off any other way, but I don't know. I don't know. And
Samantha,
I'll
is
tell
that you? The real Samantha? Nope, I don't think it was. Sorry. Okay, go on, Snow.
No, so I had a friend who very, very close friend, and she knew to hide it from me. Everybody else knew. She would openly say, like, you have to tell it. She basically would make it so that people knew that if they raised the issue with her, they would be kicked out of her life. With me, she knew if I ever realized that she was having addiction issues that I would confront it because she knew how I felt about that. I've had family members with addiction issues, and I just don't have a very big tolerance for that.
Right.
Not that I don't have the tolerance to go through it with somebody who wants to get well. I mean, I don't have the tolerance for somebody pretending that it's not what it is. And I won't enable it because then I'm responsible for that. And
Right.
I didn't realize how bad it was because we lived in a very cold state at the time, so it was a lot of sweaters. And I saw her, I guess it was maybe 10 days earlier. And the last time I saw her, she looked terrible. And I'd never seen her in all the years I'd known her since high school. I'd never seen her look terrible like that. And I looked at her and I said, we've got to get you. She had a car accident maybe when she was, I want to say 20. So this had been 30 years she'd been dealing with this.
Yes.
Susie, that is Samantha.
Yep.
It's me.
What's
It's
up,
me.
man?
Yep, there she is. Hey, girl.
I just want-
So anyway, the
Hey.
long and short of it, let me just say this. So the long and short of it was that they enabled her right into her death. And I was supposed to have lunch with her on that next Wednesday. And we were 3 days away when I got a call.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrible. And it's sad.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous to play games with that kind of stuff. But anyway, okay, so Samantha, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, it was you that prompted me to want to come up and just say something about that because I have Crohn's disease, which
That's rough.
causes severe pain, and I'm in pain all the time at some level of pain. And I do have prescription pain meds because I've had Crohn's for 43 years, and the doctor knows all the damage that's been done and
Crohn's
the
is very
pain that I
difficult.
have. But I don't take the pain medicine unless it's really, really bad. And the reason for that is I do get obstructions in the intestine, and that pain is like no other pain I've ever had in my life. It feels like I'm being cut in half. And the reason I don't take pain medicine at home liberally is because I need the pain medicine at the hospital
That's
to
a
work.
great point. That's a great point.
Mhm.
And if KP, God forbid, people who don't have Crohn's disease can also get bowel obstructions or some other type of thing that's very, very painful, or even need surgery. And when you wake up, it's very, very painful. But if you already have a high tolerance to pain meds, the pain medicine that they give you at the hospital is not going to help. And they're not going to just keep giving you more and more and more because you're asking for it. It doesn't work that way.
Right. Anymore. It
This
doesn't.
last time that I had an obstruction, I was literally begging for mercy. I was actually praying to God to just take me because the pain was
honey.
horrific. And finally, and because the pain was so bad and I have such little tiny veins, they couldn't get an IV started. It was just a nightmare. And finally, the doctor in the emergency room just came in with this injection and he said, "All right, honey," God bless him. He said,
Mhm.
I'm just going to give you a shot and you're going to go to sleep and we're going to start an IV while you're taking a little nap. And so we can keep you still and because they had to get an ultrasound machine to find a vein to start the IV. And then when I woke up, he gave me a big dose of pain medicine. And then he ordered 4 milligrams every 2 hours. And that was morphine. And that's a relatively low dose, but because he ordered a low dose every 2 hours, that did work. Once he gave me the big dose to get it to under control, the smaller dose over shorter periods of time helped. But it's not going to help somebody who has such a high tolerance that's taking them for recreation at home. And I tell that to everybody that I know, that I could have very easily become addicted on the pain meds that I have. But I know better because the hospital kind of pain, the pain that sends me to the hospital is serious pain. And you need for that medicine to work. And
Right.
so I pray, I really do. I hope this never happens to any of you, but I really hope it never happens to somebody who already has a high tolerance for pain meds, because they're going to be, it's just not going to be a good outcome for them because they can only give you so much pain medicine.
You just said something so important. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, that's very true. That's very true. And
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I can feel like it coming off of you, like that you've been through hell. And I know Crohn's. I've known people with Crohn's, and it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm 60. I am 63 now.
Oh.
It was diagnosed when I was 20. I was in college. And I've had lots of surgeries. Like, I don't even know how many anymore. The doctor and I kind of joke that she's just had too many surgeries. We don't really know how many. We'd have to go back over 43 years of records to count.
Wow.
And how many times I've been in the hospital for obstructions that sometimes needed surgery, sometimes didn't. And it just beats you up from the inside out. And I have been beaten up from the inside out, but I'm here.
And we're so grateful.
and just had a wonderful Mother's Day. I was blessed to have one daughter who has a PhD in psychology and is a school psychologist. And I couldn't ask for a better, sweeter, kinder, more compassionate. Yeah, I mean,
She got that from her mama.
She said, you were my first friend and you're my best friend.
Oh.
And, yeah, and she went to school in Florida, which was about 8 to 10 hours from where I live. But when she graduated, she came back. So now she and her fiance live about 15 minutes from me.
That is so nice.
So, yeah, so they came home. But I didn't mean to come up and tell this whole story. It was the pain meds that I really just wanted to stress that if she plays around with them, she's going to be in for a rude awakening if she ever needs emergency surgery or something happens to her that causes real pain where she needs real pain meds, because they will cut her off. They'll be able to tell after they've given her a certain amount and she's saying it's not helping, please give me more. They'll know. They know.
Well, they won't give you more because they won't risk their license.
Exactly. There's just so much they're allowed to give because the blood pressure can drop really low, and like they're even careful with me not to give me the pain medicine and the nausea medicine at the same time, because the nausea medicine can also contribute to that blood pressure drop along with pain meds. So there has to be time in between the two. So they're really careful about those things. So I just pray that, even for somebody that's a con and has hurt a lot of people, that kind of pain I don't wish on even her. I really don't. So if you're listening in the bushes, KP, I'm telling you, when something happens and you're in real pain, you're going to be in trouble, girlfriend.
Exactly.
So,
and like Cray says, if you're sober, you wouldn't be asking others for their prescribed meds.
Exactly.
It's so true. And you don't know.
Yeah.
I would have no clue what kind of meds somebody gave to me if I didn't see the bottle. And
well,
I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, and I'm just fortunate because I've had the same doctor for so long. And so he knows what I've been through. And so there's no question. And he has to hand me a written prescription. But I also have a different kind of pain medicine for more moderate pain. So I have two options when there's pain.
Right. But when you're in pain,
but I don't mess around with it. Sometimes I would rather just get in a comfortable position on my bed with a heating pad or pillow up against it, whatever, and just push through it without any pain medicine. Sometimes I'm able to do that. You just don't mess around with that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Because real life is going to happen sooner or later.
I think that's, and then I'm going to drop down, but I will say this. I think one of the really important things that you just touched on is that people forget that even if you're upset with somebody or you're hurt by them, I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. I don't want anything bad to happen to Michelle. I don't want anything bad to happen to Bot. I don't want anything bad to happen to KP. I think that's true for all of us. And and they should know that just because somebody's upset with you doesn't mean that they're still not wanting the best for you.
Right. Their time
Because
will
good
come.
people,
I
will,
do
good people
believe
will
in
always want
karma.
the best.
Goes to your phone.
They'll have to answer sooner or later to somebody, whether it be karma or an even higher power. But I just pray that they never have the kind of pain that I have been through and not respond at all to the pain meds, because they'll fuck around and find out. Pardon my French. But that's exactly what happens when you play around with pain meds at home for fun. You're fucking around and you're going to find out what happens the hard way when
Well,
you're really in pain.
Susie, I just want to say thank you for having me up. I'm gonna drop down.
And me too. I'm going to drop down too, because I know it's been a long life.
I appreciate you, Susie. I really do, and thank you for sharing your story.
Oh, thank you for bringing the subject up, or I wouldn't have said anything, but I just wanted to, I try to drive that point home, just for
Right.
people who may not think about it.
Right.
And it's not my business what people do at home with their meds or whether they take them legally or not, but the point is that there will come a time where you really are in pain and really do need pain meds, and they
Right.
may not help you. So
Exactly.
thank you, Susie.
And thanks for
As
sharing,
always.
ladies.
Bye,
I
honey.
appreciate you very much.
Love you
Okay.
all.
Love you.
See you soon.
Bye. Craze, you said, I thank you, Snow, and thank you, Samantha, for coming in and talking. So, and thank you for making sure, or for letting me know I'm not alone going through that hard journey of bad friendships. But Craze has some really good comments here. She KP lashed on to people she saw in others' chats and donated to people, same as Bot. Yep, she was on the lookout all the time, and I didn't see that, because she would make comments about people who are in here. But spicy and just keep it real. Look at the people she continues to surround herself with and team up with behind the scene. Shows the type of person she is, and that nobody I would want to associate with on or off YouTube. Yep. And you know what I feel? And hey, Wandering Scorpio, I'm so glad you made it. And Pandaberry, how sweet for you guys to come in. I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge you guys sooner, but I'm so glad you are here. And the hard part is bringing an awareness that there are people out there who aren't necessarily wanting friendships. They're wanting monetary gain from those acquaintances, and we all need to be bringing awareness, absolutely, and not bashing. I do not want her to suck more people in the way she hurt me, and that the only purpose with these relationships is for financial gain at the end of the day. And if she comes back publicly to YouTube, I will speak out without a doubt. And I'm sure so many other people will, because this time it's not forgiven. For the whole thing with Navy Vet, when she left YouTube for a month, it was because of all the hype about Navy Vet and how she scammed Navy Vet out of, I think it was over $700 in money. But okay, so now if she were to come back, nobody's going to forget. Everybody's going to know, because I don't think people really knew who she was and what kind of person she is. And for me, that matters. It really does. And it's really frustrating and very sad that people who we communicate with and have become friends with could, you know, it's hard. You don't want to necessarily trust people, but I'm a very trusting human. I really am. And when I'm in 100%. So Wandering Scorpio said, I've not taken a pill of any kind since 2002 when the clinic prescribed me 6 different pain medications. I chose not to take any of them. I think Samantha is absolutely, you're 100%. Absolutely. But guys, I know we've been on here now 2 hours. Wow, super long. Anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic evening. And all of you, thank you for sharing. And Samantha and Snow, thanks for being, I love it when I have people on panel. I really do, because it seems like we all get some really great conversation going, and it's really good for everybody. So I wish all of you a fantastic evening. And again, I am so excited to see you soon. I'll be back soon. May not be tonight, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But thank you so much. You all have been so supportive and all of the things. Banbury Shoes beads are $400. Wow. That is terrible. Yeah, she's a con because she did have us believe in everything. And Panda Berry, thank you. I love you guys, all of you, so much. And I'm so glad to be able to call you friends, because everybody who's been in my chat makes my life better. Y'all really do. And I will see you very soon. Have a good evening.